Arko Petroleum Corp to acquire U.S. Petroleum Partners, snap cuts slow Ahold Delhaize's sales growth, and net income nearly triples at Global Partners. Those are the top headlines for August 7th, and it's time for Retail Daily, your quick look at the top stories from Supermarket News and CSP Daily News. I'm Chuck Yulee, CSP Editor.
And I'm Supermarket News Executive Editor Bill Wilson.
Arko acquisition. Arko Petroleum Corp announced Thursday that it has agreed to acquire U.S. Petroleum Partners, a fuel distribution company serving the Great Lakes region, in a deal valued around $205 million in cash, plus inventory costs. U.S. Petroleum Partners distributes about 280 million gallons of fuel annually to more than 400 wholesale locations. The deal includes 2 fuel terminals in Novi, Michigan, and Toledo, Ohio, connected to the Buckeye pipeline system, as well as a vehicle fleet that transports over 80% of the company's fuel volumes. The acquisition marks the first major purchase for Arko since its initial public offering earlier this year and would expand the company's fuel distribution by roughly 14%.
Snap cuts slow Ahold's sales growth. Ahold Delhaize said cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, reduced the company's U.S. sales growth by 40 basis points in the second quarter, and the company said the cuts will have an ongoing impact through 2026. The retailer reported comparable store sales gains of 0.8% in the second quarter, as price investments helped drive sales gains, but also ate into profits. Underlying operating income was down 2.6% in the U.S. compared to the year-ago second quarter.
Net income nearly triples. Global Partners' net income in second quarter 2026 was $71 million, compared with net income of $25.2 million in the same period of 2025, the Waltham, Massachusetts-based company announced on its earnings call Friday. Global Partners' convenience store brands include Alltown Fresh, Honey Farms, and Extra Mart, and others. The second quarter ended June 30th.
Ingles posts a 3.1% comp store sales decline in Q3. Ingles Market said its comparable store sales were down 3.1% in the third quarter, excluding fuel, compared with the year-ago period. Net income was down about 1.1% to $25.9 million. Total sales, including fuel, were up 1.6% to $1.37 billion, which also included sales from a new store that opened 2 weeks before the quarter ended.
Cigarette sales not so bad. At MFA Oil Company's break-time convenience stores, they haven't seen the same declines in cigarettes as the rest of the country, said Jennifer Bach, Vice President of Operations at MFA Oil Company. That's because their 70-plus stores are predominantly in rural Missouri, a state with the lowest cigarette excise tax in the country. Despite this, modern oral nicotine is still increasing, Bach shared Thursday at CSP's Outlook Leadership event.
A hidden negative, Natural Grocers by Vitamin Cottage reported higher third-quarter sales and comparable store sales on Thursday as the specialty grocer continued to add locations, although customer traffic declined and profits slipped from a year ago. Daily average comparable store sales increased 1.2%, accelerating from 0.5% growth during the second quarter. Comparable store sales were up 8.6% on a 2-year basis. The comparable store increase, however, was driven by customers spending more per visit rather than increased traffic. Average transaction size rose 3.1%, while the average number of transactions fell 1.8%.
Insta success. Instacart reported double-digit growth in sales and orders during the second quarter as the grocery technology company expanded its artificial intelligence offerings and added retailers to its e-commerce and in-store technology platforms. The company on Thursday reported gross transaction value, or GTV, at $10.35 billion for the quarter ended June 30th, up 14% from a year earlier. Orders increased 9% to 90.3 million. Revenue rose 14% to $1.04 billion.
That's all for Retail Daily. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more to hear the latest retail news. I'm Bill Wilson.
And I'm Chuck Yulee. For more on these stories, visit CSP Daily News and Supermarket News.